got my soul in eclipse overtaking. My defense is for you, the altar call for my saving. Ooh.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 pilot stream. It is 2100 hours local time, 1800 Zulu. Today, we are going to be taking a look at one of the most advanced piston engine simulations for X-Plane 12 and arguably for flight simulation. We are, ladies and gents, looking at the Cirrus SR22 by TorqueSim, one of the most beautifully modeled aircraft and study level simulation of the SR22. Before we delve into the stream today, I want to welcome Eldoraka for becoming a senior pilot here at the VVIP membership. So thank you very much, sir, for your membership here at the channel. Stan, no worries at all, my friend. Welcome and good luck to you with whatever you want to do. We have Gregory, 5TV. Welcome, my friend. I do not do VATSIM. I normally do IVAO. Watch Extreme. Welcome aboard, my friend. Aviation Lucas, good evening. James, hello, James. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Graham Young, welcome aboard. We have also with us today Fly in Service. Welcome, my friend. Captain E.T. Hello, my friend. Welcome from Slovakia. Excellent. That is the G1000 version, correct? Yes. So, first, we're going to begin by taking a look at this beautifully modeled aircraft by TorqueSim, probably one that is at par with Aerobasque in terms of the visuals. And the guys over at TorqueSim have spared no effort in making this aircraft look absolutely stunning in terms of the 3D model itself, the texturing, and the many liveries that ship with the aircraft. As you can see, the use of PBR material is done quite well. It gives this aircraft a very realistic look. The paint looks so fresh, as if the aircraft just came out of the factory. Now, the Cirrus SR22 is probably one of the most selling general aviation aircraft since 2002. The aircraft is very popular amongst, business people, very serious people who are at the top of their game. And it was built for those who are busy executives. They want to get from A to B quite quickly, or they want to fly their families around. It is a very beautiful aircraft in terms of the way it looks, and TorqueSim has done, look at the details there on the strobe light there. Look at that. That is just amazing, amazing work. Very, very detailed in terms of the texturing of the aircraft. The 3D modeling is something I really cannot fault on this SR22. Great work in terms of the exterior modeling and the texturing, as you can see here. Look at the beautiful reflection of the aircraft fuselage, the antenna, the fuel caps, the little rivets. Everything is just done to a very, very high standard. If we move to the interior of the aircraft, we can probably say exactly the same things, looking at the passenger cabin, looking there at the roof. And if we also move here to the cockpit, look at those details. Again, very, very detailed aircraft, beautifully modeled. Everything is sharp. You can also look at the details. All the circuit breakers, by the way, are modeled and functional. And this aircraft has failures, so it's got AVTAB integration as well, and it's got a really nice cow here. How cool is that? All right, moving again here on this side of the aircraft, you can see that the cup holders are modeled and the sounds are exceptionally well made. The engine sounds are that of the real aircraft. So this is a very, very special aircraft, and the visuals there's a lot more beyond the visuals in this aircraft, and it is truly the best simulation of a piston engine aircraft for flight sim. I don't think just for X-Plane, but generally speaking, it is just really a remarkable aircraft. And the more you... I am no expert, by the way, in flying this aircraft, but I'm trying today to show you a glimpse of what the depth of system simulation that TorqueSim has brought into this aircraft. And if you want, right off the bat, Q8, what do you think of this aircraft? Is this a must-have? This is an absolute must-have if you like general aviation aircraft and you are after in-depth simulation. This is as real as it gets as far as GA aircraft are concerned. Very, very meticulously done by TorqueSim. Very quickly, the aircraft is equipped with... here, let's take a look here. So the SR22 has a control panel, if you will, that allows you to set up the aircraft so you can actually toggle the ground elements here. Let me move this away here. You can see the aircraft with all the ground elements. You can remove those here as well. You can pick the starter type. Quite frankly, I do not know what the difference is between the two starters, but I'm sure that someone out there probably knows. I'm not sure really what is the difference between the two. I haven't read the manual on the starter, so I'm not really sure. You can also enable the wear and failure, glass reflections, and persistent systems. Which means that the aircraft is going to live and breathe, and it's going to retain its current state after each landing. So when you shut down the sim, you'll come back and you'll find exactly, the aircraft in the same state. True Flight, welcome aboard, my friend. And we have El Rodrica. Good evening to you, my friend. Glad to have you here, and thank you very much, sir, for your support and your subscription to the private members here on the channel. I appreciate it very much. Most Oblivious, welcome aboard. Some of these are really making me want to explain. I'll tell you, this is probably one of the reasons I, still like to fly and explain this aircraft. Hello, Alex. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Zialo Bialo, welcome aboard, my friend. Drishal, welcome. Glad to have you guys here. So from the maintenance tab, you have access to the flight time, the airframe. You can clean or replace. You can refill the oil. The current level is 7.9 quarts of oil, which is sufficient for our flight. You have a system inspection as well as fuel, oil, tires, oxygen. You can overhaul the engine, and the aircraft's you can see regular inspections due in 44 hours, so you can see that, and there is an annual inspection, so you can perform the next hourly inspection and perform the next annual. And when you click on, for example, inspect the the engine, you'll get a message here with a maintenance report that tells you inspected engine accessories. The following component states were determined and appropriate services performed. Engine entries, induction air filter is brand new. So they have a brand new, nothing that needs to be replaced there. From the load manager is where we're going to load our passengers for our flight today. By the way, today we are going to be flying from Orange County, John Wayne Airport, and we're going to be heading to Bakersfield in the state of California. So let's go ahead and set up here. We're going to put 150 for the pilot. And you know what? I'm not going to put a co-pilot. We're just going to put a couple of passengers. Or actually, we'll just put one passenger here with us today traveling. Maybe 160 pounds. Yeah, I think that's fine. For the fuel today, we're going to need approximately 50 gallons, but I'm going to go heavy on the fuel today. That's going to give us sufficient fuel just in case we need to detour and, divert, go somewhere else. So we'll just leave that there. And the livery generator is where you can generate the tail number. So you can have anything you want. You can change the colors to fit exactly how you like it. You can also draw the tail number on the wing if that's what you choose to do. Again, some very nice features in terms of the visuals to customize the aircraft and make it look exactly how you like it. We've got with us Renan de Oliveira. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Great. Now I need to get this plane. You absolutely will not regret the decision of buying this plane. And just wait until we finish, and then you'll have a much better idea on what this aircraft can do. And very quickly, this aircraft, the Cirrus SR22, is all about managing CHT and EGT with the fuel flow. So CHT is the cylinder head temperature, EGT is the exhaust gas temperature, and the fuel flow is controlled through the mixture. Now, this aircraft does not have any FADAC system, so everything is mechanical, and we're going to get to see some of the features today when we fly, and hopefully you can also get an appreciation for the depth of system simulation. So, very quickly here, let me brief you on our flight today from John Wayne to Bakersfield, California. We are going to be departing John Wayne runway 20 right through the Muscle 8 departure, through the SLI transition. We're going to take Vector 459er onto Lima Hotel Sierra, and then we're going to be performing an ILS approach at Bakersfield through the Fast 02 arrival at runway 30 right. We're going to be performing an ILS approach, and hopefully I'll be able to also show you how to operate VNAV using the G1000. Now, the G1000 aboard the Cirrus SR22 is custom, so it is the default laminar G1000, but heavily customized by TorqueSim to give this aircraft all the features that you'd expect to see on a Cirrus SR22. Perfect. We are ready to go. So the first thing, we're going to assume that we've done the walk around and that the inspection checks okay. We are going to begin with the, we're going to check the circuit breakers, make sure that they're all in, and they are all modeled as I've mentioned. Before we turn on the batteries, we're going to come over here to the top, and we're going to remove the pin cover, the safety pin for the parachute. Now, the parachute is fully operational, and it works exactly like it does in real life. In case of an emergency, you just pull this little lever there, and the parachute would deploy. There has been many cases where this parachute has proved very effective in real life, and everyone was saved by using the parachute. Now, to put this back on, we can just click here, and we'll put the cover back on. And now we can go and turn on battery 2, battery 1, and we'll wait for the displays to initialize. As you can see here, both Garmin devices are initializing. When I looked at the engine page and looked at a real-world SR22, I was amazed at how detailed it is. Okay, so the systems are coming up. We're going to come real quick over here. And it's got know your limits. So you've got your wind limits there and all your speeds, ceilings, and things like that. We're going to click here and there we go. We're going to leave it at 80 gallons of fuel today. You can adjust this using the FMS here if you want to. The outer knob 10 in increments of 10 or decrements of 10, and the inner knob an increment of 1 or a decrement of 1. But we're going to leave it today for 80,000. This is the engine page. Again, this is custom from TorqueSim. Let me silence this alarm here, and let me change the frequency. There we go. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that everything here looks legible and looks correct, which it does. So we're going to go to the engine page here, and we're going to go to the checklist. Okay. Now, from the checklist, you can manipulate the checklist by clicking this button here. So if we go here, this, as you can see, we can cycle through the group. Okay, but then if you use the outer knob, then you can move down to the actual checklist here, and then we can also cycle through the available checklist. We're not going to be doing the walk around, so we're going to start with the before starting engine checklist. The first thing we're going to do here is we are going to come here and we're going to assume that we have done the pre-flight inspection. So we're just going to come here and say that is done. The weight and balance, we have already verified our limits and we are looking okay. The emergency equipment is on board the aircraft. The passengers have been briefed and the caps handle and the safety pin has been removed. The seat belts and harnesses are adjusted and secure. And now we can go to the next checklist. Okay. So the next one is starting the engine. We do not have external power. We're going to make sure that the parking brake is set. So we're going to hold the brake and we're going to cycle the brake. Just make sure that it is set. Excellent. Look at those rudder pedals. They look beautiful. Why don't you actually need the key to start? You don't actually need the key to start it. Really? You actually have to put the key in, but we're just going to go through the checklist. Okay, so external power is not needed. Brakes, hold, we're done. Battery master switches are both in the on position. And these strobe lights, we can turn those on. Now, when we turn it on, we have the battery is discharging, as you can see here. So we're going to turn on the strobe lights right here. Okay, now, do you see how the battery is, the discharge has increased from -7 to -9? Again, I love those details. All right, strobe lights are done. Mixture is to full rich. One thing I wanted to do today is I'm going to come here to the joystick, and I'm going to select, mixture. I'm going to say none. I don't want the mixture there. I'm going to set the mixture manually here because let me just verify. Yeah, all right, that's perfect. Okay, so next is the mixture goes to full rich, and it's right there. Okay, so that's the mixture to full rich, and the power lever goes full forward. So let's go ahead and do that. And we need to prime the aircraft because the weather is pretty cold, and this is the first flight of the day. If the engines were warm, we wouldn't have to prime. So check and check. Fuel pump prime, then boost. Okay, so we don't want to flood the engines. What we're going to do is we're going to prime twice. First, we're going to make sure this is we have sufficient fuel on both tanks. Prime 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's good. We're going to put the keys in, and we're going to go to both, and then we're going to click on boost. And there we go. One thing I did not do right, which is retarding the throttle to about 1/4 of an inch. And let's see now. All right. Let's try this one more time. We're going to put this, I don't think we need to, let me just prime it one more time. And then we're going to bring this back, crack the throttle a bit, go to boost. And there we go. Finally. Listen to those engine sounds, ladies and gents. Woof, beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. All right, we're going to recharge the throttle to 1,000 RPM. Right, that's close enough. And fuel pump is on. Propeller clear. Power lever ignition switch is done. All of that. Oil pressure is good. Alt switches, Alt 1 and 2. Now, you'll notice that alternator 2 stays on because there isn't sufficient power there. So as we start taxiing, you'll see that Alt 2 goes away as well. If the sounds are too loud, guys, please do let me know. And alt master switches are both on. Avionics power switch can go to the on position. All right, excellent. And then the engine parameters. All right, so engine parameters monitor. Let's go ahead and take a look quickly here at the engine page. Now, you can see the cylinder head temperature. The temperature is quite cold, and we want to get the aircraft to warm up. And in order to do this, we need to make sure that we lean the mixture as there's a lot of fuel going in right now. So as I lean the mixture, watch what happens. EGT starts rising immediately, and this is an indication of how well the combustion is happening in the aircraft. So let me lean the mixture a little further, and you'll see again EGT rising, and you'll see the cylinder head temperature rising as well. And this is exactly what we expect when we lean the mixture. Here, let me lean it a little further here. There we go. And you can see again the cylinder head temperature rising. I'm going to lean the mixture further. And there we go. Now you have, you see the EGT temps are increasing, and that will help warm up the cylinders as well. We can lean the aircraft maybe just a little more. There we go. And we'll just leave it there. The EGT is going to rise now, and the will the cylinder head temperature. You can see the aircraft's goal. And with the Cirrus, you really need to make sure that you warm up your engine. We're going to talk a little more about that once we are airborne. We can check here that fuel calculation is used 0.2 gallons. Obviously, we don't still have the range as we do not have our flight plan filed yet, but we're going to do that in just a second. Hello, Vale. Clement Robert, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. All right, so we've got here, let's go back to the checklist. The engine parameters are done. External power is not available. Amp meter indication. We have +3, so a positive charge, +2, that's perfectly good. We are in the green. And if you notice, we went the battery was discharging at -9, and now we have a positive charge, so we're in the clear, and the checklist is done. All right. Next, we're going to go to the flaps. The flaps are up. Radio avionics as required. Cabin heat defrost. We can click here to turn on the. It's quite cold here, so we're going to warm up the cabin a little bit, and we can say done for the flaps. Radio avionics. Cabin heat selector. Next is before and right. So now we can go and put in our flight plan. And to do this, we are going to come here and we're going to click on FPL. And as you can see here, we have our departure. Let me take this out and make it a little bigger. Okay, let me do this here. All right, so now you can follow what I'm doing here. Let me do the following. Let me come this way. Right, so now you guys can probably see better. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So we are at John Wayne Airport. We are heading to Bakersfield. And if we look here, that is Kilo Bravo Foxtrot Lima. So we're going to click on the knob here. And then we're going to move down to KBFL. Kilo Bravo Foxtrot Lima. All right. That's Meadow Fields in Bakersfield, California. And we're going to hit enter. All right, so that's Bakersfield. And we can go ahead and select the departure out of John Wayne. So if we look here, we are doing the Muscle 8 20 right, so through the SLI transition. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and select the procedure. So we're going to select the departure and enter. And our departure today is going to be the Muscle 8, which is right here. That's the Muscle 8. Enter that. And there is the Sierra Lima India transition. And load. Excellent. We're going to go down here, folks. And now, according to the chart, we have to we turn to intercept Mosul after 1 nautical mile from R118. But just I'm going to clear that and enter, and that gives us a nice turn there, so that we don't have to worry about it during our climb. A2A or TorqueSim? I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Matt Johnson, how are you doing, my friend? Glad to see you here. Hello there, Chris. Welcome aboard. All right, so we are there at Mosul, and now we can go to, we want to select our airway. So we're going to come to the menu, and we're going to go to load airway, enter. And the airway is the 459. Vector 459, enter that, and the SLI transition is LHS is our transition, so that's Lima Hotel Sierra, and enter that, and we're going to load that. Excellent. And then it is that's Chemo, and then that would be KBFL. Okay, so now we can select the arrival. If we look here at our flight plan, it's the Faster 2, runway 30 right. Okay, so we can now select the procedure, and we're going to select the approach. We're going to select the arrival first. We're going to enter that. Arrival is selected. Lima Hotel Sierra is the transition, and we're going to load that. And next, we're going to go to procedure, and we're going to select the approach, and the approach is the ILS 30 right. We're going to insert that, and the JOPEX is the initial fix for the runway 30 right. So we're going to select JOPEX and enter that. And then for the minimums, we are going to consult the chart. So we're going to go to flights, and then we're going to go to, let's see, 30 right, approach 30 right. And if we look here, so we look here, 698. Okay, so we're going to click on the outer knob. No. Okay. All right, what happened here? Enter. JOPEX, enter. Oh, come on. Okay, I know what I've done wrong. Okay. Enter. There we go. Barrow. And then we're going to put 690. All right, 690 is set, perfect. And then we can go to load and say enter. All right, so now we have our entire flight plan. And if we click here on FPL, we can see here this is the arrival. Lebec, Fasto, KBFL. All right, so a couple of things that are missing. This is the approach. We do have the correct altitude, which is 2,500 feet, but we are going to come here to a Lebec. And if we zoom out here a little bit and look at Lebec, 4,500 feet at Lebec. So let's enter 4,500. 4,500. All right, and enter. Excellent. And then at Fasto, if we look down here, Fasto is actually 2,500 as well. So we're going to go to, let's see, ADDONS. If we look here outside, this one here, so we're looking at, let's see. If we look at Lebec, 4,500, and if we look here, I'm unable to see what's the, all right, let me just remove this here for a minute. There is no restriction there. Okay. So 4,500 there, 2,500 here, and we are good here. All right, we can put the VNAV profile if we want, and yeah, here everything here says -2 FPA. Obviously, once we take off, we should be able to see all that. Okay, so we are done with our flight plan. So we're going to go now and put this back here. And we're going to click back on flight plan. Right? Okay. So now we can go back to our checklist. You can see that the, if we look here, you can see now that the cylinder head temperature is all in the green, and the EGT is also in the green. So we're in good shape, and we are ready to go. Hi Kuwait, how well does SAM ground service work for you? I've had it for XP12, Mation bags being loaded just doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've gave up on it, to be honest. Alright, so now we can go and reduce the range here. Alright, so we can see here we're going to come to, there we go. We can go to Mosul, and from Mosul we're going to make the turn into SLI, and then off to our plan. Okay, perfect. For our flight today, folks, we are going to be cruising at a final cruise altitude of 13,000 feet, so that we can also simulate the use of the oxygen system. So we're going to go to 13,000. Let me just show you this here. All right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, and 13,000 feet is set. We can also check the weather here at John Wayne. Let's go to John Wayne. And weather, and the altimeter is 3003. All right, 3003 is now set. Excellent. They really, Laminar has really done a good job with the, all right, let's put this back here on the engine page. They've done a really good job with the G1000, and TorqueSim has done a phenomenal job with the customization. All right, we're going to come down here to the display, and what I'd like to do here is first let's come here and declutter this so that we can see what's going on. We'll leave the traffic, we'll put the terrain map. Let's go back, and we're going to go to the transponder. We'll put the transponder on alt, and then back. By the way, you can set the minimus also from within the timer reference menu, as you can see here. And alerts inside airspace. Okay, so everything is ready to go, and we are pretty much ready to start taxiing. to the runway, which is exactly behind us now. Save in .3, why does it say on the website this is SR22 flight school will be using, but on the menu you had open before SR22 says not for commercial use? I don't know. I have no clue. All right, we have a rotation speed of about 79 knots, and we are going to retract the flaps at once clear of obstacles at 90 knots. We'll retract the flaps. Okay, so we're going to go back to our checklist now, and before taxi checklist or taxiing checklist, parking brake disengaged. All right, so we're going to hold the brakes here and disengage the brake. All right, and that's done. And we're just going to check the brakes, so we're going to let the aircraft roll down a little bit. Let's give it a little power. And we'll tap the brakes. Yep, the brakes work fine. And the HSI orientation is correct. Attitude gyro is checked. Turn coordinator is, we can test it here. Right. And let's see here. All right, turn coordinator is doing exactly what it should. Perfect. And that is done. And now we can go to the next checklist. All right. So the before takeoff checklist, we can actually just, let me set the brake here real quick. We'll go through some of these, and let's go. Door is latched, caps handle, verify been removed, which we've done. And when we enter the cockpit, seatbelts and harnesses are secure. Air conditioning as desired. The fuel quantity has been confirmed. The fuel selector is on the fullest tank. Fuel pump is on boost, which it is. Mixture as required. We'll leave it where it is right now. In fact, we can probably bring the mixture back a little bit here. Yeah, we can give it a little more fuel. All right, perfect. Flaps is set to 50. And now we see the flaps. Let's visually inspect the flaps to make sure that they are, in fact, at the right position. And that's checked. Transponder is set. Autopilot. All right. So let me bring this back to 1000. All right. So to test the autopilot, what we'll do is we are going to turn on the autopilot, and we are going to change the pitch. Now, if you notice here, let me just bring this here so you guys can see here. Let me bring this, all right. Okay, that's better. Let me make this bigger here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch what happens when we change the pitch down here. Right, you see that? You see how the autopilot is doing what it's supposed to do? Alright, so that's to verify that the autopilot is working as it should. And then we're going to go to the navigation and radio. So we've tested the autopilot. We're going to say done. And then navigation, radios, and GPS, they are set for takeoff. Cabin heat defrost as required. The brakes are set. And now we're going to do the run-up. Now the run-up we should be facing the wind, which we are. So we're going to go to 1700 RPM. All right, now from here, we can go to 1700 RPM. All right, 1700 RPM. Next, now the alternator verifies. So we verified that the Alt2 is gone. As you can see here, it is no longer there. So that is checked. Pitot heat, navigation lights, landing lights, annunciator lights. So just for this, we can go to the engine page, and we're going to notice the load here, the electrical current. And if you go and turn, let me do this here. All right. So if we turn on the landing lights, you'll see that the load has increased on Alt1 and Pitot heat. And also, if you pay close attention here to the anti-icing system, if we turn it on, it will tell you this is on high. and I can click here to go for the max. So I will have anti-icing capability or anti-icing fluid for about 33 minutes, and it is normally secreted on the forward edge of the wing, I suppose. And so, but we don't need it right now, so we're gonna go ahead and turn that off, and we're gonna turn the pitot heat off. Landing lights we're gonna also turn off. We're gonna go back to our checklist, and all these checks are complete. Voltage is checked and is good. Sorry, the voltage is right here, 28.7 volts, and we have a good battery is in the green, so we are good there. Pitot heats as required, navigation lights are required. Landing lights, why not? We can go ahead and turn them on. Magnetos, all right, so let's check the magnetos real quick. We want a drop of no more than 150 RPM, and the left and right difference no more than 75 RPM. So we're going to come here. All right, we have a drop of about 70 RPM, and the right about 40 RPM, and the difference fine. We'll go back to both, and then we'll retard the throttle back to 1000. And that's the run-up check complete. Again, you'll see the Alt2 coming on the display here, and that is because the power isn't sufficient again. So let me see here what we can do with the mixture. Add a little bit of mixture there. Now I think we can lean it a little further. All right, there we go. All right, so the magneto check is done. Engine parameters are good. Power lever is at 1000 RPM. Flight instrument, HSI, and altimeter are checked and set. Flight controls are free and correct. And we want to set the trim for takeoff, so we're going to come here and we're going to set obviously that will disconnect the autopilot. There we go. So the trim is now set for takeoff. We're going to come down here and we're going to turn off the yaw damper. We'll leave the flight director on, but that's not the correct pitch that we want to climb at. So I'm going to reduce the, let's see here. Let's see. All right, there we go. That's about right here, 7 degrees or so. All right, perfect. The trim is set, the autopilot is disconnected, and now we can go to the, so not pre-flight anymore. We can go back up. All right, so flight, we're going to go to the normal takeoff, and we're going to set it here. We've done the taxi checklist, and we are good to go. All right. Anyway, let's move on from that. How the frame rate in the aircraft. The frame rate, where I'm getting 55, 56 here on the ground at John Wayne, so that's pretty good. All right, we're ready to go. Parking brake is set. And off we go to the runway. This is, by the way, default scenery of John Wayne. There is a payware scenery I did not like. I did purchase it, but I did not like it, to be completely honest with you guys. All right, here we go. Now, the Cirrus does not have a nose wheel steering, so you'll have to use differential brakes to steer the aircraft on the ground. And this is exactly true to life. We could have done the run-up here. By the way, there's a run-up area right there. Is it possible for you to stream 2K or 4K instead? Maybe I'll attempt 2K. I don't know about 4K, but I'll try to do that. I agree, Rain Man. The default scenery looks very, very decent. I agree. Alright, we're going to need the full length of the runway, so we can just come here for runway 20 right and depart here. The landing lights are on, and everything is configured for takeoff. Look at how beautiful this aircraft is. Absolutely gorgeous. Looks like there's an incoming aircraft, so I'm just going to hold here until he departs. Yeah, look at that. Why is he taking the other runway? Well, anyway, we'll just wait for him to... Whew. Bon voyage. Alright, there we go. We can go ahead and line up now. Alright, now for takeoff, we're going to set the mixture to full rich. May hold the brakes. Alright. Mixture is set to full rich. And the brake are held. Done. Power lever full forward. Engine parameters, elevator control between 73 knots will rotate. And flaps 80, yeah, that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and give it full power. Full power is set. Airspeed alive. $60, 73, rotate. All right, and we are at about 90 knots. Crack the flaps. Excellent. And if we just go to the flight plan there, we're doing all right. All right, perfect. And we're going to come down here and we're going to turn the autopilot on, go to nav, and at about 120 we're going to select IAS. IAS is selected. We're going to continue the climb in. We can go to 125. All right. Perfect. The aircraft, can we go direct to... Let's see. All right, wants to go back to... That's fine. That's fine. All right, so it wants to go back to, that's the beginning of the flight plan. I should have put direct to the next waypoint, which is okay. So we're just going to circle there and then go back to R118. Right, the aircraft. All right, let's go and look at the engine here. Now, at lower speeds, we're going to have to lean a little bit. Let me come here. Let's see. All right. So, AGT. That's easier to put it this way. All right, we're going to just make sure AGT rises a little bit. There we go. Right, that's good. AGT is good. Cylinder head temperature is okay. $4,000 feet for 13,000. Hey, Rand, welcome aboard, my friend. Beautiful sounds aboard this Cirrus SR22 by TorqueSim. Right, we can remove that. Yeah, we could have just seen R2118, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, 5,000 feet. We continue the climb. Again, we need to keep watching the temps, the AGT and cylinder head temperature. We don't want to exceed 380 in terms of the temperature. So we can see already that the AGT is dropping, and so we're going to have to start leaning the mixture a little bit. So we're going to lean here. Now you can see how it goes back up. And you need to continue to do this until we reach cruise. And then, of course, we're going to use the assist functionality there to get the best mixture or the best combustion in the engine chamber. We continue the climb now, and we are from R118 to Mosul. We're looking good. Excellent. And everything here looks good. Safety temperature is okay. A little bit on the high side. And by the way, the reason you see the difference here in cylinders 3 and 5 because they are farther away from the air vents. So if you look here at the front, this is where the air enters the engine to cool it down, so it depends on the cylinder position, and that's why you see the difference there in the temps of the cylinder head temperatures. We're going to lean the mixture a little further. There we go. So basically, when you lean the mixture, you are reducing the amount of fuel for the optimal air-fuel mix in the combustion chamber. And you can see now that the temperatures are also dropping here, which is okay. We just don't want to exceed 380 Fahrenheit there for the temperature. We continue our climb now. We're looking good. So what do you guys think of this SR22 thus far? All right, looking good. 7,000 and 8,000 feet. We will probably put in the... No, one thing I want to do, I want to go to my flight, not here, I want to go to flight plan, and I want to put, it's already put that there, Fasto, okay. So let me click here at Fasto, and I'm going to put 2500, 2500, and we're going to say enter. There we go. Excellent. All right, 8,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn on the oxygen system. And we're going to come here and we're going to set this to 13,000. That's about right. Look at the pin. The safety pin is here stowed for you. And by the way, you can click here and that will mute the engine sounds. If the engine sounds are too loud for you guys, please do let me know. There we go. Excellent. All right, we're looking good. And climbing to 13,000 feet. Looks nice. It is amazing, guys. This is an amazing, amazing aircraft. All right, we're going to take a look here. Again, we can see that the exhaust gas, exhaust gas temperature is again dropping. So we're going to lean the mixture a little further. There we go, and now it's rising again. So we're just going to keep doing this. We can, by the way, reduce the power to 2,500 RPM. We'll leave it. We'll do it at cruise. And by the way, at maximum power, the RPM will always pitot is required. Okay, pitot heat is on. The maximum RPM that you'll get at maximum power here, as you can see, which we have the lever here on maximum power, is always going to be 2,700 RPM. And this is part of the safety built in the aircraft. As yeah, anything above that, you're in the red, and that's going to be a problem. Okay, 9,500. We're approaching 10,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and turn off the landing lights. And let's take a look here at the flight plan. That's our turn to SLI, Sierra Lima, India. We can increase the speed a little bit to perhaps 130 knots. Let's see here. There we go. So you guys can see. There we go. 130 knots. There we go. And that's 10,000. 3,000 to cruise altitude. Yeah, the sounds are amazing. In-game volume is too loud. Okay. Perhaps we can come here and... Oh, that won't work. All right, let me see if I can come here and... we'll just drop this a little bit. Drop that a little bit. Maybe that's better. Let me know, guys, if that's a little better for you. We're all getting the same sound mix, and the engine sound is way loud. All right, so I've reduced the engine sound. We can mute it completely, by the way, if you guys like. All right, no real difference. All right, well, we can always come here. And we can mute the sounds there a little bit so you guys can hear me better. And we can always, in the external, you can hear the sounds for sure. But in the interior, you know, we're on mute. Fuel imbalance. Ooh, okay. So for the fuel imbalance, we're going to switch here. And let me go to, again, look at the details there. Fuel imbalance, so this is good. All right, this is good. Let's lean the mixture a little bit. Let me boost. All right. And hopefully we'll get that to go away in a little while. All right, let's, we forgot, by the way, to go to our checklist. So we can go to the next checklist. This is not what we want. So, no, exit that one. Let me go back up. Short field takeoff, climb. So we've done pretty much everything here. Oxygen is as required. We've turned that on, so we're good there. Power lever full forward. Mixture airspeed is done. Electrical fuel pump boost. Yeah, you can see now the fuel imbalance has gone away. Fuel flow, we monitor that. Engine parameters are monitored. And then for cruise, we'll just leave it there. We're about 2,000 feet away from the cruise. We can see the EGT is looking good. Cylinder head temperature is still pretty good. The highest is 364. So if I go here, 364 is the highest cylinder head temperature, which is okay. We don't want this to go above 380. So far we're good. Is there systems setup? What do you mean? Rand? I'm not sure I follow you. Hello there, Alot. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Is there systems setup? Question, is your BIOS tweak still working out well for you? Little chicken to try it still, but seriously tempted. My specs are identical to yours. Chris, yeah, I do have the undervolt tweak. I've done that. And it's working perfectly well. I have no spikes to the 100 Celsius with either X-Plane or MSFS, so I'm quite happy with it. Hey Q8, what are your X-Plane settings? My X-Plane settings are available in... Actually, you know what? Let me just show you guys. Graphics. So these are my settings. I have everything on max with the exception of anti-aliasing on 4x and the rendering distance and world objects on high and high. That's it. All right, looking good. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, we're still a few... Yeah, we're looking okay there. So we'll just leave it there at current speed of 130. And we can actually go bump the speed a little bit. We have true speed of 157 knots. We can definitely boost that up a little bit. So let me come here and we're going to add the speed. We're going to go to 140 knots. There we go. Excellent. And if we look at Navigraph charts, and that's where we are. LHS. So that's the beginning. That's the transition into our star. So we're looking good. Let me switch this to satellite. Oh, just look at that. Beautiful. All right, we're looking good. 1,000 to go. And I'm going to lean the mixture further. There we go. And we have the EGT rising again. Again, we have to keep monitoring this. And it will eventually stabilize once we are at cruise altitude. But yeah, we definitely need to keep monitoring this. Could even be different headsets or speakers, or not everyone is necessarily hearing the same sound mix. Hence why me and Rand could hear okay and some other people couldn't. Well, that depends a lot on the, correct, like you said, the speakers. Normally, I have the recommended volume for my voice. The SIM is lowered through OBS. So I have also followed the recommended settings for the volume, but sometimes it could be too loud. And obviously, I want you guys to enjoy the stream and listen to, you know, what I have to say. So I'm okay to mute the engine sounds there. We'll bring them back on for landing, so you can again enjoy the nice engine sounds. You can definitely look at them there in the outside view. Listen to those sounds. Just brilliant. Okay, we can reduce the power here a little bit. I'm going to go to 2500. Ease off on the power there. You know what I'll do, folks? I'm going to reduce the speed a little bit. Okay, here we go. 135. All right. All right. So we're almost at cruise altitude. Hey, Thrust Set Simulations, welcome aboard. Right, let's see here. Right, there we go. Again, we want to watch our EGT. I'm just going to give it power here so that we can climb to our cruise altitude. Right, there we go. We're looking all right. I'll select 500 feet per minute for the last part of the climb to 13,000 feet. And let's lean the mixture a little more. There we go. Again, EGT, looking good. Cylinder head temperature is good. And let's take a look here. Yeah, we can still keep this on the right tank. All right, and here we are at 13,000. Perfect. We're leveling off now at 13,000 feet. Brilliant. Okay. Now for cruise, we are going to come here to the checklist. Cruise oxygen as required. Fuel pump is off. I think it's already off. There we go. So off, off. Cruise power is set. We're going to go to about 2,500 RPM. Right, we're just going to reduce the power here to 2,500 RPM. All right, 2,500, close enough. Cruise power, and then it says lean as required. Okay, so we're going to come here, and we are going to use assist. And we first want to look for the peak. So to do this, let me bring this here so it's easier to see what's happening. Okay, so now if I start leaning the mixture, you'll see that the EGT rises. Okay, and we're going to wait for the peak. And let's see here. All right, so we've reached the peak, and we're going down. We're going to look for about minus 70. So let's go further down, and that's about minus 75 is good. No, that's a little too much. So we're going to go back up, minus 75, and that's the perfect EGT temp here. As you can see, again, you'll see the variance here due to the fact that the position of the cylinders is differs from the location of them differs from the air vents. So yeah, you will have some variations, but as long as you can keep this below 380, you're good. The peak here, minus 70 to minus 75, is the optimal temperature for the best fuel flow and airflow into the combustion chamber. So now we're getting the best fuel economy, which you can see here, about 15.9 nautical mile per gallon. The range is 1,000. Obviously, we have a lot of fuel in the aircraft. So let's go ahead and fix this here a little bit. We're gonna lean that just a tad. All right, it's gone too much, too far. Let me see there. Again, slight changes to your mixture in order to hit that right. And all right, we'll leave it there. Okay, is that just a tad? Okay. We'll leave it there. Okay, perfect. So everything is looking good here. And if we come down here, I just want to make sure if I click VNav, yeah, VNav is operational. Perfect. So if we look at our flight plan, we are currently looking... Hey, Roberto, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome, my friend from Russia. Glad to have you here. And we have a super chat from Mr. Oliveira for 99 rupees. Is it rupees? Thank you very much, sir, for your support. I appreciate it very much. That's very, very kind of you. I appreciate your support. Benny, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. Thank you very much, guys, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. All right, the peak is looking good. The cylinder head temperature is looking good, and we are going to begin the descent in. So if we come here to the flight plan, and we are currently heading over to, let me bring our DME for 111.9. If I'm not mistaken, that's the frequency for the runway for 30 right, but let's just double check that. If we go here to the approach, that's 30 right, and we're going to bring it here, and indeed 111.9 is the frequency, and the initial approach altitude is 2,500 feet. So we are looking good there, and we are at 13,000, 2,500, so about 10,000, about 40 nautical miles. We'll begin the descent. So we what we can do is, if you look here, where are we? Yeah, we are here. We still have, this is LHS. So this is the beginning, actually, of our approach. So if we come here to procedure now, all right, so if I come to procedure, okay, and I can say activate the approach, all right, so we're going to say enter, and now we've activated the approach. And now it's going to fly direct to JUPIX, okay? So that's perfectly okay. We can do that. And we'll fly direct to JUPIX now. And we have the distance to JUPIX. So if I put the bearing here to JUPIX, which is 77 nautical miles. And at 40, we will begin the descent. You can see here as well, you have the 2,500 set. And in order for VNav to work, the initial approach fix has to have an altitude. Okay, so there is the initial altitude fix in the G1000, the Garmin by Laminar. In order for VNav to work correctly, your initial approach fix has to have an altitude. If it's not there, make sure that the very first waypoint in your approach is the initial approach fix and that there is an altitude assigned to it. Otherwise, VNAV will not work. So we've got that out of the way. We're flying direct to the initial approach fix at 13,000 feet, and we will begin the descent approximately 40 nautical miles from our current position. Everything is looking good. EGT is good. Cylinder head temperature is good. All is looking good. And we are 2,500 for the power. And everything looking good here. We're going to keep this on the engine page for the time being. We can monitor our flight from the range here. Let's increase that there. We have a good visibility there on the flight route that we're flying. And yeah, all is looking good here. Let's check on the passenger in the back. There we go. With the Boss headsets, quite expensive ones. And here is a nice wing view. Brilliant aircraft. Now, while in flight, you have an access to the entire electrical system here simulated to understand exactly what's going on. So you have all your electrical loads, the essential distribution bus, your battery 1, the alternators, and what is the current load on both, battery 2, and how everything is connected. So again, very, very nice work from the guys over at TorqueSim, doing all of these little, simulations. And then you have also the engine page where you can take a look at your air filter temperature, manifold, oil cooler inlet, the exhaust gas, and also all the CHT and EGT temperatures respectively shown next to each cylinder head. As you can see here, total of six cylinders here. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely gorgeous. You have got to love X-Plane. All right, perfect. So, folks, what we're going to be doing in the coming days, we are going to be revisiting the IXEG 737. The IXEG 737 has received an update with a few fixes, improvements, as well as the introduction of the weight and balance in the pre-flight page in the electronic flight bag. So we are going to be revisiting that in the days to come. And we're going to be revisiting also the X-Craft E-Jets as well as the FSR E-Jets by flight simulation procedures, flight procedure simulation, something like that, formerly known as SSG. So we're going to be visiting those because the last update to the flight procedure simulation E-Jets 195, they've made major improvements to the cockpit and a few fixes, and I think it's starting to look very, very nice. So we're going to definitely take a look at that in the coming days. Hey, Ryan, how are you doing, my friend? Glad to have you here, and thanks. Welcome aboard. Yeah, definitely an aircraft that is very well made by TorqueSim. Everything is modeled, everything works, no inops there. Look at this sun visor there. Look at the glass reflection. Gee, that is absolutely beautiful. I mean, in terms of the texturing, they've done a phenomenal job on this aircraft. And by the way, the night lighting on this aircraft is truly awesome. We're going to take a look at that once we land. I'll show you because I think it's worth looking at. Very nice customizations overall to the laminar default G1000 to simulate the aircraft systems. I think they've done really a very good job. I think maybe we can bring the mixture back. That's a little too much. There we go. 80. All right, let's give it a notch. That's a little too much as well. All right, keep it at 70. Between 70 and 75 is perfectly fine. Now, as we descend, we actually want the cylinder head temperature to be at the lowest. And one thing that we want to do here is we're going to come to the heading. We're going to click this to sync the heading bug. And we're going to go to, let's see here. Let's take a look here. What is the approach course? 301. So what we'll do is we're going to go to, let me go back. And we're going to go to localizer 301. Let's set the course to 301. All right, 301. And then we'll head back to GPS and engage nav. There we go. We are still cruising at 13,000 feet. We are approximately about 56 nautical miles from Jupix. So we will begin the descent in about 10 nautical miles, or a little more, maybe 15 nautical miles from now. We will begin the descent. Leandro, welcome aboard. Hey, Cap, just a quick question. Is this the SR22 G6? That is the SR22 G1000. And by the way, it comes with two variants. It comes also with the turbo model, or a turbo variant. I think the G5, you need to purchase additional thing from Flight Sim Gear, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the sounds are sensational on this aircraft. I believe they're recorded from the real aircraft. So yeah, they've definitely done a very good job with that. Let me just do tad of, why does it jump so much? All right, let me see here. Let's just give it some time. Just a little bit there, mixture. All right. Now, by the way, this does have a huge effect on the fuel economy. So if you are not at the optimal combustion, the performance will definitely... let's just bring this back here a little bit. All right. So definitely, if you are not at the optimal performance, your mile per gallon, nautical mile per gallon, will be affected. So if you're not at the optimal, EGT, you're going to end up burning more fuel, and thus it's going to cost you more money. So right now, between 70 and 75 is fine. I'm just going to leave it there. And we're looking at the temperatures here. That looks okay to me. All right, perfect. A few more, we'll wait until 40, about 8 nautical miles, we'll begin the descent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to put VNav, and we can see a V path there. And I am going to set the altitude to 2,500. You can see TD. You see that? You see the TD here? All right, so we're going to set the altitude to 2,500 feet. right? 2,500. And we can see TD. And so the aircraft should begin the descent automatically once we hit the top of descent. Now with the VNAV enabled, let's grab the altimeter here over at Bakersfield in the US of A, 3001. Let's set that, 3001. There we go. And we're almost at top of descent now. We've set our altitude. Everything is ready for our descent. You can always get the aircraft by typing !aircraft, and it should give you the link to the aircraft where you can purchase the aircraft or read a little more about it and learn a little more about the aircraft. !aircraft gives you the link to the aircraft. Liam, welcome to Captain. Thank you very much, sir, for your support. Appreciate it. Very, very kind of you, sir. I appreciate it very much, Liam. Thank you. Very kind of you. All right. You can see the VNAV profile now here. So let me just bring this out. All right. So you can see the VNAV profile as we approach top of descent. And just as a quick reminder, guys, in order for VNAV to work on the Laminar G1000, all you need to have really is for your initial approach fix, you must have the altitude set. If it's not set automatically by the Garmin device, always consult your chart and you should be able to find the altitude there, or the platform altitude, if you will, and then just enter it manually, and then the VNAV should work properly. As you can see, as we reach top of descent, you can see the V path here is coming down, and once it goes past the center line here, you will see that the aircraft beginning V path. As you can see now, alt select for 2500, add Chupix, and the aircraft has begun the automatic descent now using VNAV. The speed is gonna start climbing, so we're gonna ease off on the throttle here a little bit, and we are gonna start. Now we're gonna turn off the assist here, and now we're gonna start leaning. We're gonna start actually introducing more fuel. Let me see here. All right, so I want actually this to go further down, so we're gonna leave it here. We'll leave the mixture here for the descent. All right, we'll leave it there. Bit erratic. All right, let's see if we can get that stabilized. All right, let's see. All right, we'll just leave it for now. And we'll keep monitoring the cylinder head temperature. The aircraft's still descending. You can ease off a little bit on the throttle here. 2500. We can actually use IAS to descend. So actually, I'm going to come here and say IAS. All right, and it's just going to maintain this speed now to descend. There we go. And now IAS is doing its thing. We are at 11,000, approximately 41 nautical miles from our destination. And we can reduce the speed a little bit. Maybe we'll descend at about 130. So I'm going to reduce the speed here to about 130 knots. Okay, let's go to the checklist. We've done the cruise. So the next one is the descent altimeter is set, cabin heat set, landing light is on. which it is now. Excellent. Done. Fuel system, check. Mixture as required. Brake pressure, check. And the oxygen as required. Now, we still need the... All right, let's go to vertical speed, VS. And we're going to descend at about 700 feet per minute. There we go. Again, we want to make sure that we monitor the CHT and EGT as we descend. We can go to 800 feet per minute. Where we go? All right, let's see here. It's 700, 800 feet per minute. 900 feet. Okay. Again, we watch the temps. Okay, that's what actually we want. That's perfectly okay. We are at 10,000. 35 nautical miles or 2,500. We're looking all right. We're a bit too high, but that's okay. We can always correct that as we approach the airport. Default X-Plane 12. That's 1208, by the way. The clouds are looking very, very nice. Right, 900,000. We're looking good. If we look at the charts, so we are here, so we are a bit too high. So what I'm going to do, folks, I'm going to increase our rate of descent a little bit. So we are going to go to maybe 1,200 feet per minute. And I'm going to ease off there on the throttle a little bit. All right, let's go to the next checklist. Before landing checklist, fuel pump boost. We're going to go ahead and turn that on. Done. Mixture as required. And the autopilot is disengaged. That's okay. All right, power lever is full forward. That's for landing. Okay. That's all right. So we can go to... Okay, there we go. All right, we're looking good. We're recovering there in terms of the altitude. We were a bit too high for the current sector, so that's why I increased the rate of descent. It's a little bit maybe uncomfortable for our passengers right now, but we should be fine. All right, looking good. We can adjust the rate of descent now to back to 1,800 feet is perfectly okay. And we're going to reduce our speed as well as we approach Jupix. We're looking good. Excellent. About 80 nautical miles from the initial approach fix for runway 30 right at Bakersfield, California. Bakersfield is a lovely small place, small town, if you will. I'm not sure if it's a city, but it's a lovely place to visit. I used to always, on my travels to Los Angeles, when I, during weekends, I used to stop at Bakersfield for, quick check on the car and maybe a few bites, and then we continue the drive to LA over, Route 5. 5 South is the route you take. You begin from Fresno, you take 99 south, and then it actually 99 kind of converts into 5. Yeah, those were the days. They were fun days, without a doubt. All right, PFD. Back. We're a bit too low now for the current segment of the flight, so we can always reduce our rate of descent to about 600 feet per minute. There we go. We're looking good. Now we might see that some of the we might get a cold engine, so we need to start changing the mixture. Let's see here. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's see here. There we go. All right, perfect. 5,000. And that's us right there. Looking good. We're looking for 2,500. And for the final approach, I will remove the headset so that you guys can hear the engine sounds. This mesh here in the States doesn't look bad at all for default mesh in X-Plane. Well, it actually looks pretty good. Plausible world, yeah? The plausible world. All right, if we look here, we are approximately 9.5 nautical miles from the initial fix to Jupix. And we're looking good. Speed is still good. We need to reduce the speed to 100 knots in a short while here. We're still looking okay. All right. Excellent. 45, about 2,000 feet to go for the initial platform altitude. Looking good. And below about 105 knots, at 100 knots, we can extend 50% flaps. So still looking good here. And descending at 600 feet per minute. The 172 I rented had 2 Navcom DME ADF. That was it. Yeah. It amazes me how those aircraft come with a lot of different configurations. Right, 3,000. We are about 1,400 feet to go. And we are looking good. So Bakersfield is now to our left, northwest of our position. I think that is Bakersfield right there. So if we zoom in here, I think that is the runway right there. That's 30 right. So we're looking good. Excellent. 1,000 feet to go. AGT is good. Cylinder head temperature is still good. We're looking all right. Oil pressure is good. All the vitals are pretty good. And we have, looks like we have a tailwind of about 2 knots, but that's not a biggie. And 4 knot crosswind from the right, which is okay. Not a big deal. Right, we need to start slowing down the aircraft now to about 100 knots. There we go. We're almost at 2,500. The airport is right ahead of us right now with 2.6 miles to the initial approach fix for Bakersfield, California. Runway 30 right. Looking good. Excellent. 2,500 feet is coming up, and the runway is slightly to our left. So we are going to go to approach. Approach. There we go. And we are at exactly 2,500 feet. And we're going to switch this to localizer 1. And now the aircraft will do its thing. There we go, lining up with the runway. As you can see, the localizer has been captured, and the glide slope will also. All right, now you can clearly see the glide slope there. All right, the aircraft's doing something strange. So at this point, I'm going to disengage the autopilot and my aircraft. Yeah, we'll just take over. It's even a lot more fun to fly the aircrafts manually. All right, so first thing first, we are going to reduce our speed. So let me reduce the speed here. Right, we're going to hold it here as we make it. We have the runway in sight. It's a nice, beautiful day. VFR conditions. And let's see here. All right, let me reduce power a little further. We have the glide slope. We are on the glide slope and slightly off the localizer. All right, I'm going to hold the pitch here up until we are at a safe speed to lower the flaps. Right, now we're looking good. Right, and we can go ahead and extend the flaps now, 50% flaps. Excellent. Now the speed is dropping. Right, mixture goes to full rich. We're looking good. On the localizer, slight variation from the glide slope there. Nothing too serious though. And we're going to start reducing the speed as well. You can see that some of the cylinders are a bit cold now. All right, let's give it power. All right. Very good. 1,000 feet on the localizer and the glide slope, looking good. Slightly too fast. And we do have a little bit of tailwind. Oh, it is headwind.
500.
Right, 500 feet. 2 reds, 2 whites. Flaps full.
Minimums.
Continue. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bakersfield, California. What a lovely flight in a lovely aircraft. Yeah, that was very, very enjoyable indeed. So what do you guys think? I think this Cirrus is amazing. Rich man's land these days here. Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure, by the way, what this airport looks like, or where is the... we'll just go to... I think we can make a turn and go back. Look at that. Look at that animation. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, I think we missed the tower. I think it's, it might be right there up ahead. So let's just go there. Thank you very much, Rand. I appreciate it. Right, we're gonna go to 1,000 RPM now. We're gonna lean the mixture a little bit. Let me come here. There we go. Take the power back. There we go. Now, I'll tell you guys, I have done several mistakes during this flight, but I sure do hope that I was able to show you the depth of system simulation. Again, of course, I'm not a real world, I haven't flown this aircraft, obviously, in real life. So, but I hope that you can see, even with the mistakes that I've done, how accurately this aircraft simulates the piston engine performance and how the cylinder head temperature and the EGT correspond to the changes that you make in the aircraft using the mixture, so the fuel flow, monitoring the temps and how it affects the aircraft performance. Really a wonderful aircraft that is immense fun to learn and fly. And by the way, it comes with a very detailed manual as well. So lots and lots of documentation that ships with this aircraft. So if you are waiting for the recommendation, this aircraft definitely receives the highest commendations from the channel. It is a very well developed aircraft, very in-depth simulation of the piston engine performance. Visually, it's a stunning aircraft. The sounds are beautiful. The control panel that ships with the aircraft is excellent, and it comes with extensive documentation. Very, very immersive, and has a very realistic feel to it. Hand flying this aircraft is definitely something that you will come to remember. And every time you fly the Cirrus SR22 and X-Plane 12, you're going to feel like you want to fly it again. And I've done so much flights from the time the aircraft updated until today, the time for the stream, simply because I just couldn't get enough of it. It's just that good of an aircraft. It's not an aircraft that you'll fly once and forget about it, I can assure you that. So while the price may be a little bit on the higher side, this aircraft is definitely worth the investment, and it will definitely bring hours of enjoyment to your flying experience in X-Plane 12. If you're serious about general aviation aircraft, this aircraft is without a doubt for you, and you will appreciate it very much. Very, very nice aircraft. I really cannot recommend it enough. It is one of the finest general aviation aircraft built for flight sim, and definitely receives the highest commendations of the channel. All right, parking brake is set, and we can go to afterline power levers to 1000. So let's set that to 1000. There we go. 1000 is set, and that is done. Fuel pump is off. All right, which it is, and flaps are up. So let's the flaps. The transponder goes to standby. And check that. Lights, we don't need the landing lights. We don't need the strobes. Pitot heat can go off. And then we can say check. And next checklist, the shutdown fuel pump is off. The throttle is back to idle. And the ignition switch cycle mag grounding check. So that is the... All right, we can go to just off, and then the mixture goes to cutoff. Excellent. And the all switches off. And obviously the battery switches are off. And now the engine has stopped. We can go now to, we can actually remove the key. We'll remove the key, and we'll see here. Do we need to do anything? We're going to open the cover here, and we're going to place the safety pin, close the cover once more, make sure it's in the right place. Excellent. And we're going to bring up the aircraft control panel. We're going to go to general and place the chocks. We'll put the pitot cover and the inlet cover. And we are pretty much done here, guys. And there you have it. The Cirrus SR22 G1000 by TorqueSim. An amazing, amazing aircraft, which is really one that I recommend. And it would be my absolute pleasure to do another stream with this aircraft once I learn a little bit more about it. I'm more than happy to come back and bring you guys more information about the aircraft. All right, well, this brings us to the conclusion of this live stream this evening. I hope that you've enjoyed it and found it useful and insightful. If you have any questions, as usual, please do post them in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Stay safe, folks, and good night.